Sponsored by Bet365.
Welcome back to Rugby.com.au. I'm Izzy and I'm joined here by the wonderful Matt Dunning. Now, what a weekend of footy it was.
Yeah, wonderful Matt Dunning. I don't often get called that, but thank you very much, Izzy. Yeah, it was a great weekend. You know, a lot of good games. I thought the Crusaders versus the Chiefs, was the pick of the game. That was a tremendous game of footy, and good to see a couple of Australian teams getting wins too.
Yes, it was great for those Aussie teams. Now, first up, we do have a huge Australian derby on Friday night with the Reds and the Force. Now, what are your thoughts?
Obviously, the Reds come off the bye after a great win against the Rebels, so they'll be pumped for a big game. There's still a chance of securing that first spot in the conference, so they'll be up for it. And obviously, the Force coming off that horrendous loss to the Highlanders, albeit the Highlanders, that's the best I've seen them play. They were outstanding. But Izzy, if you remember back to round 2, the Force upset the Reds when they were not favourites to do so. I guess the only difference this time it'll be the Suncorp.
That is true. Well, good luck to both teams. And now on Saturday afternoon in New Zealand, the Waratahs kick it off with the Highlanders. And what are your thoughts about the Waratahs after their big win on the weekend? Yeah,
the Waratahs were impressive, albeit the Rebels are going through so many players. It's tough for them at the moment, but the Waratahs were great. And look, we commented last week on Israel Folau, how he needed to step up, and he did. That's his best game for the year. He was outstanding. It was the three key players played outstanding for the Waratahs, and the rest followed. That's Israel Folau, Hooper and Foley. Those three led, and the rest followed, and they were outstanding. You know, the second half, they really blew the Rebels off the park. It's going to be tough though. The Highlanders coming off their best game of the season. They're a class side. I think they've won eight in a row now. It'll be interesting to see how they go over there. It'll be tough.
Absolutely. And then after that, we have the Rebels who take on the Crusaders at home. What are your thoughts about that one?
Wow. Well, if you watch that Crusaders Chiefs game I spoke about earlier, the Crusaders are a class side. The Rebels are going to find it extremely difficult. They've used 38 players this year for the season to date. They can't take a break with injury. Reece Hodge goes down in the first 2 minutes last week. They're going to struggle. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be interesting to see who they pick for this game. They're depleted on numbers. It's going to be a big ask for them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one on Saturday night. And last but not least for the weekend, we have the Brumbies who take on the Highlanders in Argentina early Sunday morning. What are your thoughts?
Well, Izzy, if you remember last week, you picked the Brumbies to win. They beat the Kings, and I didn't, but I picked the Force to beat the Highlanders instead. We won't talk about that. But the Brumbies winning last week against the Kings, the first Australian side to win in South Africa this year, they'll be on a real high. And they've got a massive opportunity to really get ahead and really put this conference, one foot on winning this conference. So they'll be up for it. Highlanders, they had a bye last week after the loss to the Force, so they're going to have to come back. It's going to be a tight game now, I think, but I think the Brumbies can do it.
So what are your tips for this week, Tuck?
Let's see if we can redeem ourselves from last week, Izzy. Chiefs to beat the Blues in Auckland. Reds to beat the Force. Cheetahs to beat the Sunwolves. Waratahs to lose to the Highlanders. Crusaders to smash the Rebels. Hurricanes to beat the Bulls. Stormers to beat the Sharks in Durban. Brumbies to beat the Jaguars. Lions to beat the Kings.
Good work, Tuck, but I'm going to have to disagree with you on one of them. I think the Waratahs are going to smash the Highlanders this weekend.
Well, Izzy, I hope you're right. It'll be a big effort for the boys to get up there in Dunedin. If there's any chance of winning, they'll need not to get distracted by all the university students over there.
That is true. Well, thanks again for all the predictions this week. And remember to stay tuned to Rugby.com.au all weekend for all the news, reactions and highlights. And remember, if you're going to take a bet, do so responsibly.